If you really want to know whether you understand something or not, try teaching it. Not rereading it, certainly not highlighting it, and not staring at your notes, hoping it's magically going to stick. Teach it. And I know some of you hear that advice and immediately you think, teach it to who? I live alone. I'm not going to talk to myself. That feels weird. That's fair. But here's the truth. Teaching the material does not mean standing in your kitchen pretending you're a college professor. It means this. It means you can clearly explain what you know in a way that actually makes sense. Because when you can explain it clearly, you know it. And if you can't explain it clearly, then you have just discovered exactly where you need work. And that is a very good thing. So why does teaching it work? One of the biggest mistakes most students make is assuming I read it, so I know it. Well, I've studied for hours, so I know it. Nope. Reading something is exposure to it. It is not mastery or understanding. Just because it looks familiar on the page doesn't mean you can use it when it matters, especially on an exam. Because the exam is not asking, have you seen this before? Have you seen these words before? The exam is asking, do you understand what this means? And can you apply it? Can you untangle this in a question? And that's why teaching works so well. Because when you try to explain something out loud, your brain has to do more than just recognize it. Your brain has to organize it, simplify it, connect it, and help you put it in your own words. That is real learning. That is when studying starts to actually work. So teaching it, Kim, I hear you. Tell me, what does that actually look like? All right, let's keep it simple. When I say teach the material, I do not mean you need a classroom or a whiteboard or even a student or an audience. You can teach this to yourself in several easy ways. Option one, an imaginary student. Just pick a topic and say, okay, if someone asked me what this means, how would I explain it? That's it. For example, if you're studying real estate and the topic is earnest money, don't just read the definition of earnest money. That's important information, but do it different. Try saying, okay, earnest money is money the buyer puts down to show they're serious. And it is not the same thing as the due diligence fee. Earnest money could be refunded, and it never goes directly to the seller. Earnest money is typically held in escrow. Now you're not memorizing random words. You're explaining a concept. That is far more powerful. Now, option two, talk to your dog, to your coffee cup, to your steering wheel. Just talk to yourself. It's okay. And yes, I am serious here. If you don't have a friend or another person you can talk to and teach, then don't. Teach yourself. You can talk to your dog, your cat, your coffee cup, your bathroom mirror, or even your steering wheel while you're driving down the road. Maybe you ought to be parked. I don't care who the audience is or where you are when you're talking to yourself about it. The audience is not the point. The explanation is the point. Because when you force yourself to explain something clearly out loud, your brain starts showing you where the holes are. And that is exactly what you need. Another option is to record yourself. This one is gold. Take your phone and record a quick voice memo or even a video explaining a topic, just one topic, not the whole chapter, not everything, just one idea, one concept. For example, today I'm explaining what agency means, or today I'm explaining the difference between a fixture and personal property. And when you do that, two things happen. First, you realize what you actually know, which is great. That's a confidence builder. And second, you hear where you get a little fuzzy or vague or maybe even stuck. And that is useful. It is not discouraging. It's useful because confusion you can identify is confusion you can fix. So, what if you freeze or you don't know what to say? Well, let's deal with that because that stops a lot of students. They try to teach it and then they freeze. And immediately you think, well, I guess I don't know this at all. And not so fast. Freezing doesn't mean you're failing or that you don't know. It means your brain just handed you a roadmap. That moment tells you this is the part I need to go back and clean up a little bit. That is productive studying. So if you get stuck, use this simple framework. Explain it in 3 parts. What is it? Why does it matter? And how might it show up on the exam? That structure will help you tremendously. Let's do one quickly. Here's the example. Topic: due diligence fee. What is it? The due diligence fee is a negotiated fee between the buyer and the seller, and it goes directly to the seller. It's non-refundable, and the buyer buys time. Why does it matter? Because the buyer is buying time to investigate the property during the due diligence period. And how might it show up on the exam? The exam is likely to test you on whether you understand that it's non-refundable, even if the buyer's loan is declined or the appraisal comes in low. See what just happened? That's teaching. It's not fancy. It's not dramatic. It's just clear. And clear will be complicated every single time. And here's the part I really want you to understand and buy into. Teaching the material to yourself doesn't just help you learn it, it helps you trust yourself. Because confidence doesn't come from hoping you'll remember. Confidence comes from proving to yourself, I can explain this. I understand this. and I know what it means. And that matters, especially before an exam. Because when you sit down to test, panic shows up fastest when your knowledge is shallow. But when you've worked through the material deeply enough to explain it to yourself, you will be calmer. You're certainly going to be clearer, and you're much harder to trick or trip up. And that's what we want. Not fake confidence, real confidence built on understanding. So if you want your studying to stick, stop just reading the material, highlighting and all that business. Teach it. Explain it badly if you have to at first. It's okay. Talk to yourself. It's okay. I don't care. Just start saying it out loud. Because when you can teach it clearly, you are much closer to knowing it than you think. And if you can't explain it yet, good. Now you know exactly where you need to work and go back and reread and then explain to yourself what you just read. That's not failure. That is progress. And progress is how people pass that exam. Teach it to know it. I'm Kim Stotesbury, and I am here to help you pass that test. You can do this.